Hi, Chris Hale with SunBlue Energy. Today I'm joined by Jon Rekedal from Steadwise. He's a financial advisor. We have some questions for Jon about solar and investment. So, hey Jon.
Hey Chris.
Hey, so we have the customers are creating their own electricity with their solar energy system. Electricity is a commodity. How is that commodity, that investment in energy, which they are doing, how do you convey that to a customer? Why there's a benefit to investing in a commodity?
Sure. What's really interesting, the first time that Chris and I talked, it reminded me of a lot of different financial products I hear about out there, but with one major advantage. If you think about solar panels as a way to create something that, in this case, the state of New York is going to purchase from you, you end up having a predictable income from that investment. The thing that's really interesting about solar is if you compare it to some other investments, it's got a lot of advantages. For example, it's a lot less volatile than investing in stocks. It's just about as reliable if you consider the sun shining and the reliability of the equipment. It's just about as reliable as anything on the market, but it should generate a higher return due to increasing electrical demand.
Thanks, Jon. As far as the, you're creating this commodity, and every month you're saving money because you're creating your own electricity. You're not paying your utility for that electricity. So you're actually receiving a monthly dividend on your solar energy investment for 30 years. So that tax-free dividend you're receiving by you're having your savings, the homeowner having that savings, how best should we convey that to the customer?
Yeah, one of the really interesting things to consider when you go from something that's a monthly expense into something that is either potentially going to be covered by the energy generated by your solar panel, or potentially even generate revenue for you because the solar panel is creating more energy than your household needs. It really reverses a situation where you're purchasing a commodity that's going up in value to one where you're selling a commodity that's going up in value. And I think when you think about a solar dividend, a monthly difference in your household finances, there are a lot of interesting ways that you could appropriately invest it. First and foremost, if you finance the solar panels themselves, if you purchase them, such as from SunBlue, then it could be a great way to structure your payments based upon your likely return from selling electricity. Another thing that's interesting is to consider how you might take better advantage of that electricity, such as charging an electric car or having electric appliances where in the past you might have had gas.
Okay, no, thanks. The solar energy system's installed, it's on your home, and you own it from day one, and you are creating electricity for 30 years. During that time, you're not paying for the electricity. So it's usually based off your initial investment in solar energy. It's usually anywhere between 8, but usually 10 to 15% a year, just assuming electrical rates go up the normal amount. So you basically have a 30-year investment that has a 10 to 15% return every year for 30 years. How do we say to the customer this is a great deal?
Yeah, when I hear 10 to 15% on a return, I must ask right off, that seems like you must be taking on a lot of risk to get a return like that. I mean, traditionally, the greater the risk, the greater the potential return, but also the greater the chance that you lose all your money. This is a fundamentally different sort of investment because during that 30 years, as long as the state continues to agree to buy your electricity, and if you look at the current rate of growth in, for example, Con Ed rates, it's gone up about 15% each of the last 2 years. Also, Con Ed rates overall almost never go down. So what you're looking at is a much greater likelihood of a prediction that these returns will continue. And what I'm really referring to is the AI boom, the fact that electricity and electric power is increasingly the currency in our economy. Also, the current administration is favoring a natural gas-based strategy, reducing the overall available solar kilowatt hours coming from commercial sources. So as a homeowner, your solar that you produce will be in increasing demand. I think, when you compare it to 30-year investments that are that reliable, you might talk about the 30-year treasury. That's sort of been the gold standard for a super safe investment. But unlike solar, 30-year treasury is facing some unique headwinds, such as de-dollarization as countries start to do more transaction in their own currencies, such as the increasing US debt, which makes it more expensive for the government to borrow. And also, as compared with the potential political instability going on in our country. So when you think about what is the best way on a 30-year time horizon to make an investment that's likely to grow, I can't really think of anything that would provide a more predictable return than solar at this stage in the game.
Yeah, that makes all the sense in the world, and that's why we've always thought it's investment, because you're actually creating something. It's tangible. Even if that goes up or down in value, you're still getting that tax-free monthly dividend, and you're getting a return on your investment that is reliable every month, every year, for 30 years. Now, as electrical rates go up, we assume they're just going to go up 3.4% a year like they always have been. But you had mentioned earlier how with AI and other energy usage, our energy usage is actually expected to go up by 25% over the next 10 years. And the electrical ratepayers, the residential ratepayers, are the ones who usually bear the brunt of those increased electrical rates, because the rates go up because the demand goes up. And with a return on your investment starting at the 8 to 10%, more than likely 10%, and going up as electrical rates go up, is there something comparable to that type of investment out there, where you're basically benefiting from the increased electrical rates?
Yeah, I mean, there are investments packaged in different ways in almost any way that you can imagine, whether it's stock and energy utilities, whether it's companies that are creating new innovations in energy transmission, or for that matter, purchasing stock in equipment makers. But when you think about it, all of those purchases depend on the intricacies and the unique situation of the company that you may be investing in. This is a lot simpler. This is an investment in the fact that our energy demand will continue to grow, and by dint of the fact that I'm a homeowner and I'm able to access the roof to create that energy, there's really no analogous product that's as simple as that, unless perhaps you found gold in the backyard.
All right. Well, there's gold up in the sky. We just have to use it to create our own electricity. Thank you for your time.